Good afternoon, everyone. This is Anthony P., your coach and contributor. I hope you guys are doing freaking great. It is a beautiful day in Montreal, a little bit cold and windy, but it is sunny outside. Quick video for the new people, people that are thinking of joining, a quick introduction to the menu, and also want to talk a little bit about highs and lows of sports betting, what you could expect, what type of performance. How do you manage the lows? How do you manage the highs? I think that's really important. I have a lot of people that contact me asking me, is it the right time to join? What can I expect in terms of performance? How much should my bankroll be? Like all stuff like that. I want to cover really quickly, hopefully under 10 minutes. So let's take a deep dive in the menu. So this is new, collecting feedback. We're trying to be on top of most of the recommendations that our people are providing to us. And we've got a ton of different players, right? We've got some players that are going to play one or two games a night and they're going to hit them hard. And then we've got other players that love to play volume. And then we have other players that just strictly play parlays. We have other people that only bet when they have time because they've got busy lives, and if they don't have time to look at it, they just don't bet. We've got a ton of different types of people, right? I love you guys all equally. Don't get me wrong, right? And I just thinking about this, the menu, and I was talking with Chop, and it's like a puzzle, for me. And what you see here in the menu, it's something that I introduced back in the early days of Beat the Bookie, and I just lost track on being efficient and putting this information on paper so that you guys could use it to leverage, right? For your own leverage. No matter if you're a small guy who likes to play a lot of parlays or somebody that likes to drop $400 or $500 a night on a game or on several games. So when we're looking at the menu, it's got 6 sections, right? The tier 1, 2, 3, it's got the sharp money, the system plays, and it has what the book needs. And I really want to go quickly on what these all mean, because if somebody else asks me, how do I leverage this? At least I've got a short video that you guys are going to need to invest 5 to 10 minutes to hear me out and to look at the visual here so that you could understand what we're doing here. The tier 1 picks are the picks that you're paying for. When we're going to be looking at my personal performance and the highs and lows of February, you're going to quickly realize that everything that I track in terms of performance are tier 1 plays. These are the ones that are 7-1 in the last 2 days. These are the ones that are 24-7 in the last 7 days, if I remember, or 27-9. These are the picks that you pay for. So tier 1 plays are official plays. These are the ones that are being dropped as soon as I bet the games myself. And I want to make sure they go out to you guys so that you get the best possible line, because our goal is to beat the closing line. And for those that track it, most of the nights we're very successful into doing so. Okay. Tier 2 are, so just picture this for the DFS players. Picture this as a player pool, right? And you're trying to build your GPP line, that it is a single entry or multi-entries, or that it is your cash lineup, and you're trying to build a player pool. Look at this as your player pool. And the tier 2 are picks that you could bet at half a unit. Pick 3, tier 3 is maybe something you could bet at a third of a unit. These are, so you're in my mind right here. You're in my mind, and this is my player pool. This is my pick pool. And only these guys made the cut. Doesn't mean that Indiana is a bad pick. Didn't mean that the over was a bad pick. Didn't mean that San Antonio, all right, they lost. But again, through the selection process, we're going to see more than often a lot more success in the tier 1 that we're going to see in the tier 2 and the tier 3. However, these games could all be used for betting. All right. They just didn't make the cut. So if you're a volume player, you could pick games from 1, 2, and 3, right? Or you could pick games only from the 1. You could pick games from the tier 2 and the tier 3. And this just gives you guys more options. Okay. And when we're looking at the entertainment section of the tier 3, Calgary Entertainment, I thought they were going to lose yesterday, but I did play them in a parlay, right? Which I hardly do, but I just wanted to throw them in there, and they've screwed my parlay up, losing in overtime. But the Pistons were also really interesting yesterday, and I had them here as a system play, which we're going to get there very shortly. which this one hit, and we had Dallas, at plus 25. These entertainment plays are usually plays that are extremely contrarian and that could have a much higher return if they hit. So there's many ways that you could leverage these three different tiers, but don't forget, this is what you're paying for. The tier one is the big picks. These are the ones that if you want to put $100, $1,000 on it, you're going to be doing it here versus a tier two or a tier three. Sharp money, very simple. The information is gathered from my contact that I have at the sportsbook, which is a sharp sportsbook, and they have identified players that are sharp players, and a sharp player is usually identified by someone that wins a lot more than loses and that bets a lot of money. So I'm lucky to have this information in hand, but these are the plays where we are going to see night in and night out where the real sharp bettors are betting the games. Now, it could be different from one sportsbook to another. However, this comes from one specific book. It's not aggregated. It's really one specific book. And when you're looking at the performance of tier one and sharp money, you'll see that there's a lot of consistency, in winning. So this was, I did well, they didn't, right? But you'll see that night in and night out. You'll see a lot of green in the top, in the tier one, and in the sharp, on the sharp side. So again, you could be a player from tier one and sharp money. This is where you want to focus, right? Sometimes they're going to contradict themselves. Then you trust the sharp money or the sharp player, or trust the tier one picks. This is something that you can do. Okay. Before going into system plays, we're going to talk really quickly about what the book needs. So again, when I get this information, I get this information also, and basically it's a graphic with dollar amounts, and it just shows me for which team is the book rooting for. And specifically yesterday, there was a ton of liability on the over in this game. So they needed the under. This is the play that they need. And the game ended up being under, right? There was also a lot of money on Philadelphia with a couple of players coming back from COVID, and they needed the Rangers. They had a great night over here, right? And there was one of them, was it this one? Yes, Detroit badly, right? So we were on Orlando, so was the majority of the sharps and the square guys. And there was a ton of liability. I also put in a comment that I said, if Detroit wins this game, straight up, the money that the book is going to be making is going to cover for all the liabilities they have for the NBA on that night. So it was a great night for them over here, right? And then there's some nights that they're going to take a complete beating, right? Or that they're going to have a tougher night. But as long as there's green over here, everybody's happy, right? But you could see even the sharps over here took a beating, right? And it's going to happen. So you see green, green, all right? So that's what I wanted to cover really quickly. And system plays, I don't play these, but I look at them. Because I'm a fanatic of numbers, I really like to look at these. And these are trend based. They're trends. They're trends. It's a statistical, not model, but it's all backed with situational plays, where the money is coming versus the tickets. It could be, the way that a team is performing against the spread in their last 5 games versus being on the road for the first time, right? It could be all kinds of different things, but I need to sort through them because there's a lot of them, and I handpick the best ones. Right? I handpick the best ones and I post them here for people. Again, I like volume. Up to yesterday, there was a lot of red in this section, and I specifically mentioned it to you guys. System plays have been doing bad and they're due for positive regression, and that's exactly what we saw yesterday. So sometimes just looking at this graph and following the next day, or having 3 of them, one next to each other, and seeing, okay, well, Anthony's being super hot, and this can't continue. He's going to get cold. So if he does get cold one night, what do I do? Do I just focus on sharp money now because it's more stable? Or look, system plays are being are being a lot more performing lately. Maybe we could focus there. I'm there to answer those questions. But again, you're paying for these, but you are getting all of this as a tool for you to be capable of handpicking and finding patterns into all of these, right? That's what I wanted to cover, in terms of system plays. There's not much more to say than saying, hey, a team's every favorite. They're playing good recently. The team coming in hasn't covered the spread in 6 games. Take the dog because it hits at 72% of the time in the last 2 seasons, right? So stuff like that you're going to see most in this section right here. What to expect? You're new. You're looking at all of this. There's not a lot of work for you to do. You could pick from tier ones. You could fucking go ahead and just go with sharp money and say, dude, here's Anthony from Sportsbet Army, and he's got this type of contact, and this is the information, and he's posting it, and most of the nights it's making money. You could go with that. There's so many different things that you could do. But don't forget you're paying for tier 1. But what do you expect in terms of performance when you're looking at tier 1 plays and stuff like that? A lot of people ask me, is it the right time to come in? And there's no right answer to that, guys. And this is a quick example. Monday to Sundays, this is how I do an update of my performance religiously every Monday, right? And people that would have joined the first week of February were super happy because they won 12 units, right? And then you're going to tell your friend, and he's going to join also. And, hey, welcome, buddy. You've minus 12 units, in the second week. It's like, dude, are you serious? Is this guy really good? Like, is this service even really good? How can I lose 12 units? This guy's full of shit. That's it. I am canceling, right? It's the end of the world, right? The following week, we're looking at, going to plus 8 units. Oh my God. Okay. That's not bad, but I'm still down about 4 units. Okay, good. What are we doing? What does it look like the following week? Oh, look at that. Again, the week's not even finished. We're 11-3. We're Thursday afternoon. We're hitting 80%. And so, you know what? You can't judge performance based on small sample sizes, right? So when you join a service, specifically Sportsbet Army, you'll find transparency. Our picks are all being tracked. We're working on a tracker that's going to make it a lot easier for everyone to be following and to have access to. But, if you ask the performance of one of the coaches, in a snap of a finger, he's going to send it to you. And it's not bullshit because all the fucking picks are tracked, right? And I know for a fact there's people that are tracking my picks just to make sure that when I post the results, it's exactly that. And I'm happy. It's keeping us honest. But that's our culture. We're transparent. There's no bullshit. I wouldn't be doing this if I wouldn't be confident I can make you guys money. What I can't control is what you guys do once you've got a couple of drinks and you're having a bad week, and that now Anthony's not a hero anymore, he's a 0, and then you decide to put 10 units on Phoenix playing against Charlotte because they're at minus 400, and it's impossible that Phoenix is going to lose. Well, you tell me what happened last night, right? And then you wake up the next morning with a really bad hangover and you're pissed off and you're mad at me, or you're mad at the service that you're joined to, but you're missing the whole point, right? The big bulk of the loss of your bankroll is because of you chasing and you making a bad bet, right? People that are successful are people that are going to follow our instructions in terms of bankroll management. People that stay positive. People that are not going to get eaten alive by their emotions when they find themselves at the bottom of a valley right here. Right? And if we're looking 1 year's worth of results, right? This is 1 year, 45 units, 56%. And you could see the highs and lows over here. This is what you expect. But at the end, you got profit. You got money. Look how bad. Right? Look at this. Look at these peaks and valleys. Right? So now we're trying to break through 50%, 50 units for the month, for the last 12 months. And this is our resistance. And support is at 0, right? We have never been in negative units, myself, in the last 12 months. Hope this helped you guys. You know where to find me on Slack. You know where to find me in Discord. Peace out.